Hello friends, welcome to this YouTube video program. We are discussing about the major content point and major concept that has been addressed in different units of different courses of MA education program of Indira Gandhi National Open University. We have already discussed three courses, that is MES 011 Understanding Education, MES 012 Education Concept, Nature and Purposes, then MES 016 Educational Research, and presently we are focusing on the fourth course of the first year course of MA Education program, that is MES 014 Societal Context of Education. This course has been designed in 5 different blocks. Block 1, the title of block 1, that is Education and Society, Concept and Perspectives. Block 2, that is Political and Economic Perspective of Education. Block 3, Social Context of School. Block 4, Knowledge and Education. And Block 5, that is Emerging Concerns in Indian Education. Earlier in this course, we have completed our discussion in the first 3 blocks, that is block 1, 2 and 3. And today we'll start the 4th block of this course, that is knowledge and education. So friends, try to understand what is knowledge is being addressed in school, because this unit majorly discusses the social issues, that is the social context of education. And when we discuss the social context of education, we discuss about the operation of school, relation of school with community. So at the same time, knowledge is also part of school process. Okay, so here the traditional form of knowledge and the modern ways of knowledge. So how to acquire knowledge traditionally, and how to acquire knowledge by using different you can say technological gadgets, and by using different modern techniques and methods. That is also another part of discussion of this block. This block has been designed in 4 different units, that is unit 12, 13, 14 and 15. In unit 12, the title of the unit is School Organization of Knowledge. Then unit 13, that discusses about ideology and curriculum. Then unit 14, it discusses about medium of instruction. And unit 15, that discusses about mass media and education. So here you will find that all the units are you can say at the micro level or in a very large scale. It discusses about the knowledge that we address in the school system. So today in this program we will focus on the first unit of this block, block 4. First unit is here, the unit 12, that is School Organization of Knowledge. So we will try to understand that how the school organize the knowledge, and what is the concept of knowledge, and how you understand by using the term knowledge. So the social organization of knowledge, here in this unit, the major content point that you will get, that is definition and definition, meaning and scope of knowledge, then different types of knowledge. Then further another important content point is there, that is modes of knowledge transfer. Modes of knowledge transfer, it discusses about digital divide or opportunity, migration of individuals across the globe, then reinterpretation of knowledge, then recorded devices, then easy availability and use of ICT gadgets. So this is also some of the sub content point that has been addressed under modes of knowledge transfer. Then further the unit ends with discussing the forms of knowledge, that is the traditional forms of knowledge, then modern forms of knowledge. Then of course this has discussed about the contribution of National Knowledge Commission of India. Okay, so let us start our discussion from the for understanding the concept, definition, meaning and scope of knowledge. So, friends, largely in this unit, the major discussions that has been held relating to knowledge, that is, various aspect of knowledge as may be expressed at various levels. The whole process of organization of knowledge may be divided into three areas that you can say, that is knowledge creation, then knowledge accumulation, and knowledge dissemination, or knowledge transfer. So, being a master student of education, we should understand that when we talk about our school and when we talk about knowledge, then definitely our work is on these three major aspects. First, we should understand about how knowledge is created, what are the different forms of knowledge, then further, after creating the knowledge, how the knowledge is being practiced. Okay, so that means you can say that's called as knowledge accumulation. So how we acquire knowledge, how we practice knowledge. So when you can say we construct a curriculum, we develop a curriculum, we address knowledge in its different forms. Okay, in terms of a principle, in terms of certain concept, in terms of certain facts, okay, certain laws, certain theories. So here, after creation of the knowledge, after development of the knowledge, after construction of this knowledge, then further that knowledge got practiced, okay, by using a type of syllabi in the school, particularly in the school, and by using you can say by practicing a curriculum. Because when we talk about knowledge, we cannot make a boundary of the knowledge, we cannot limit the knowledge, that this can only be possible in the schooling system. So knowledge can also be possible beyond the schooling system also. Okay, so the observation based knowledge, experience based knowledge, that is also being a part of it. So it may be in a formal system of schooling, or it may be in informal and non-formal system of schooling, we accumulate knowledge. So that's why the second important part in this unit, that is the knowledge accumulation. Then after knowledge accumulation, then the further important aspects, that's called as knowledge dissemination or knowledge transfer. You see, after creating the knowledge, after development of the knowledge, after construction of the knowledge, then further we address that knowledge in a form of syllabi, or in a form of curriculum. Then further, the next work is to transact that curriculum. Okay, so the curriculum is based upon certain knowledge, certain experiences, certain observation, certain facts, certain principles, certain laws, certain practices, and further how to transfer that knowledge, how to transfer that curriculum. So friends, for disseminating the knowledge, for transfer of the knowledge, we use different methods, different media, different techniques, and definitely we use certain strategies. So here broadly such things are discussed in this unit: knowledge creation, knowledge accumulation, and knowledge dissemination. And you see, particularly we shall examine the areas of knowledge creation and knowledge transfer, and in this unit deliberately this has been avoided to discuss the knowledge storage, since this is beyond of the scope of this unit. Knowledge storage is a very you can say technical aspect, so this can be discussed in other courses. So that's why here keeping in consideration of the scope of the unit and the scope of the course, so three aspects we will discuss, that is knowledge creation, knowledge accumulation, and knowledge dissemination or transfer. So we transfer knowledge from one generation to other generation, from one group to other group, from one situation to other situation. It may be in school, or it may be beyond the school also. It may be outside the formal system of education also. So here at any time you can take the example of your family, you can take the example of your society, you can take the example of the cultural practices, our tradition and custom. Many a time you must have observed that knowledge transfer or knowledge dissemination that takes place. Okay, you might have heard certain things, experienced certain things, in a terms of storytelling, in a terms of narration from your parents. Okay, means from your parents to you, you will find that the knowledge has disseminated, knowledge has transferred, and you must have observed and you must have experienced many things from the community and the society. Means the things which is going on in the community and society, that also further transferred to another new generation, young generation. So that's why transfer is also occurred at the family and at the society, and at a very large scale you will find that the new knowledge that has been developed globally, okay, maybe in terms of research findings, maybe in terms of you can say the certain principles, that also got transmitted from disseminated globally. Okay, so you will find that when we revise our curriculum, so we try to induct, we try to include the new knowledge, okay, the new practices. So that's why these three things: creation, knowledge creation, accumulation, and knowledge dissemination or transfer is definitely important aspect so far as all forms of education is concerned. So further we'll try to discuss about the concept of knowledge. So here let me to give certain example. When we talk about knowledge, so our focus is on three different aspects. So directly we cannot reach at knowledge. So when we talk about knowledge, so definitely it is somehow linked with information and data. We have already discussed in our earlier video. So let me to just recapitulate that what we have discussed earlier in our in some of our videos in our earlier courses. That is when we are discussing about knowledge and discipline. Okay, how we acquire knowledge, at the same time different sources of knowledge, and how we define knowledge. So before defining knowledge, we should understand about what is a data and what is an information, and from information how we reach at knowledge. So friends, data which is very raw in nature, you can say a raw data. Okay, raw data means if you will take the example of production of crops, production of different types of crops in a state or in a country. So simply you can say that how many metric tons of crops that got product in a particular year in a state or in a country. Okay, the production of wheat, the production of paddy, the production of other agricultural goods. Okay, so here we are just giving certain data. Okay, so data is having very limited meaning or no meaning at all. So unless we interpret the data, unless we give certain meaning to the data by analyzing it, by interpreting it, we cannot say that that data is meaningful. So friends, you see, when we interpret the data, then we get certain meaning from the data, just like by using certain statistical techniques, statistical methods, we interpret the data. So when we interpret data, we analyze data, we reach at certain information. So information, you can say, just like we are just developing a certain trend, that what is the annual rainfall, in a country, and then rainfall in different seasons, rainfall in different places. So first of all, we collect data, we gather data, and by taking the data, by interpreting the data, by analyzing the data, we can set certain principles, we can set certain trends, that what is particularly in the context of rainfall. If the rainfall is a data, then what is the information of rainfall? So we can say that the rainfall, the quantity of rainfall so far as different places of a country is concerned, the rainfall at the hilly areas, rainfall at the coastal areas. So if such type of data is with us, by interpreting the data, we can set a trend, we can develop a trend, just like we can say that what is the trend of rainfall in the last 5 years. Okay, the trend of rainfall in different months, the trend of rainfall in different places, in hilly areas, in coastal belt, okay, so in plain areas. So such type of trend we can set, we can develop by analyzing the data. So that's why, friends, when we talk about data, that is not meaningful, okay, that is, or you can say very limited meaning is with the data. And when we talk about information, so definitely we give certain more meaning to that information, to that data. And friends, when we talk about knowledge, so that is the further step of information. So the further step of information is knowledge. Just like when we use certain methods, by using certain methods, certain techniques, certain strategies, when we conduct a type of study, okay, when we conduct a type of experiment, when we conduct a type of you can say case study, when we conduct a type of other types of descriptive inferential studies, then we set certain principles, we set certain theories, okay, we develop certain laws. So just like in mathematics, you see, we use certain formulas, we use certain principles for solving the problem, for solving the mathematical problem. So that is the knowledge, you can say. So by using the data, the middle stage is information, means by interpreting the data we reach at the information. And information is also, though it is meaningful, but information is not unless we use the information in a research purpose, for developing certain principles and theories, you cannot say that information is very much meaningful. So though certain meaning is there with information, but further information can be used in research. So when we conduct certain investigation, certain research, certain discovery, certain exploration, and we by using certain scientific methods and procedures, scientific principles and procedures, then we reach at certain theories, okay, and that theories may be in the field of mathematics, may be in the field of physics, may be in the field of other areas of knowledge, other discipline. We reach at you can say certain theories and certain principles that we use in our academic pursuit, in our academic manifestation. So that's why, friends, so here to understand knowledge, so definitely we should link it from data. So from data, it takes the form of information, and information also takes the forms of knowledge. So knowledge can be, further we can say that knowledge can be expressed in forms of data, scientific formula, product specifications, manual, universal principles, and so on. So that we use in our in our curriculum and in our syllabi. And further, in this program, we'll discuss about. Let us discuss in the next program, because this program will be huge. But here, the tacit knowledge is, you can say, when we talk about data, information knowledge, somehow the tacit knowledge that comes into context, which is personal and individual in nature, and you will find that it's difficult to formalize the tacit knowledge. But many a time, because of our intuition, because of our personal experience, we also the tacit knowledge is also considered as one of the form of knowledge. So friends, in this program we discussed about the concept of knowledge, and in our next program we'll discuss about different types of knowledge. Thank you.